I'm Jamie from Shamrock Girl World, and today I'm going to show you how to grow dragon fruits from seed. Dragon fruit is a type of tropical fruit-bearing cactus and can be easily grown from seed. This method of germinating seeds will work with all varieties of dragon fruit, such as the pink-skinned and white-fleshed, red-skinned and red-fleshed, and yellow-skinned and white-fleshed dragon fruits. The first thing that you'll need is fresh dragon fruit. You can use any of the 3 varieties that you like. You can use the fruit that you bought from the store, or you can get seeds from a nursery or a grower. I personally use the yellow dragon fruit variety because it's my favorite of the 3 varieties. Next thing you can use is well-draining soil. You can use peat moss, seed starter mix, cactus or succulent mix. Just make sure it's not made out of clay material or has bark or wood pieces in it. Next you'll need is a container. It doesn't have to be deep at first. It can be shallow and wide. You can also use a dome or plastic cover as an option to keep the soil moist while germinating the seeds. The first thing you'll need to do is to remove the seeds from the pulp. You can cut the fruit lengthwise to expose the most seeds from the surface of the fruit. You can use a fork or toothpick to pick the tiny kiwi-like seeds from the flesh. You can scrape the seeds from the flesh, and this is easier to do with the yellow variety. You can dip the toothpick in a cup of water and the seeds will fall to the bottom. Or you can use a spoon to scrape the seeds from the flesh into the water. This step may be tedious, but it helps reduce the amount of flesh that is with the seeds. I usually do this while watching TV or listening to music in the background. When you've collected all the seeds from the surface, cut a thin layer of flesh to get to the next level. You can get as many seeds as you want, for the dragon fruits have hundreds of seeds. I may use 1/2 of a red or yellow flesh dragon fruit, and I'll use the entire yellow dragon fruit. The next thing you'll need to do is remove the flesh pieces from the seeds. Swish the seeds around in water to allow the flesh to float or sink in the water. You can hand pick out any large pieces of flesh. Replace the water until you remove the flesh and any floating seeds. This is to remove any sugars from the water. You can also use a tea strainer for this process. Flesh from the fruit should be removed to prevent the soil from molding and contaminating the seeds. There's an optional step that you can do, which is to remove the gel membranes of the seeds. And this is regarding the larger seeds of the yellow dragon fruit. These seeds are caviar or chia seed-like because they have a gel membrane around the seed. Use a cotton towel or cheesecloth to rub or squeeze the membranes off the seeds. Use a towel that you may not use because this step may stain and stretch the towel out. Put the seeds in the middle of the towel and wrap your pointer finger and thumb above the cluster of the seeds. Grab the towel above your hand and squeeze down and let the seeds run through your tightened fingers. Wring out the slimy gel that is extruded through the towel. Do this process several times until the seeds are no longer slippery through your fingers. Strain the seeds in water to remove the flesh and membranes. This step also lowers the risk of the soil molding and will allow the larger seeds to germinate readily. Next, you can add the seeds to the soil. You can lightly water the soil in a shallow to medium depth container. You can sprinkle the seeds on the top of the soil, or you can add the seeds to a cup of watered down soil, mix it together, and spread the paste on top of the soil. Then you can cover the seeds in a light layer of soil. And now you can allow the seeds to germinate in a warm, sunny location. Make sure that it's not in direct sunlight. You can use a dome to retain the heat and moisture of the soil. Water the soil sparingly and lightly with a spray bottle. Ideally, the seeds may sprout within 7 to 14 days, but it may take upwards of a month for them to germinate. As the seedlings germinate, it will be slow and steady growth. The seedlings will have 2 leaves on the sides and a middle segment that contains the small spines. The seedlings may be small for about a month or 2, and the middle part of the seedling will continue to grow taller. As the seedlings get taller, you may have to thin them out or transplant them. You may have to thin them out every 2 to 3 months, but that depends on how fast they're growing. During this process, more seeds may sprout, creating new seedlings. And while this happens, make sure to keep all seedlings watered and in sunlight and warmth. One seedling may branch into multiple segments, and each segment can be broken off and planted as a new plant. So these plants are really easy to replicate and multiply. And with each transplant, use a deeper container. The root system will get larger for the individual plants, and this usually happens after several months. You can also use fertilizer sparingly as the plants grow. And since dragon fruits are cacti, as the seedlings grow larger, so do their spines. So make sure to use gloves or wear long sleeve shirts while handling the seedlings. You may also have to use eye protection or face masks, especially in windy conditions. As the months go by, especially to the first year, your seedlings may get larger and larger. They may grow thick spines, have large, thick green segments. You may have them individually potted or have several plants in a container, and they may multiply before your eyes. If dragon fruit segments are large, you can train them to grow vertically. You can support them with a stake or support them up a pole or a trellis. You can encourage growth to the top of the plant so it can grow taller by removing sideways growing segments. Or you can also let large segments hang down to the ground from the container. If you're in an area that gets cold weather, make sure to protect your dragon fruits from freezing temperatures. Frozen or frostbitten plants may turn yellow and become slimy blisters. Growth may also slow down as well. So make sure to keep the soil and air moist, and as long as the plant doesn't freeze, it should survive. So as you can see, dragon fruit is really easy to grow, and you'll have a hardy yet prickly succulent that may one day produce fruit. It may take a few years for that to happen compared to having a dragon fruit cutting, but it's a fun way to start a new plant that you can raise and grow. If you want to learn more about what I did with my dragon fruits after its first year, make sure to watch my video on growing and transplanting dragon fruits. This video will highlight what I did during the spring and summer months. If you want to learn more about dragon fruit and the 3 varieties, check out my videos, what is dragon fruit and what is golden or yellow dragon fruit. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos about exotic fruits, growing exotic fruits, gardening, outdoor crafts, and more. Thank you.